So tonight, I want to talk about a particular topic called why it is actually good to be born as a Chinese male or Chinese man. You may think that the following is just some crazy talk because if you are born as a Chinese, you are already feel as an evil person, a person who eats dogs, cats, bats, and other wild animals, and you are a person that is affiliated and associated with the evil China Empire. So if you are born as a Chinese, it's pretty hard to live a life uh, in this planet Earth with other people viewing you as an evil entity or even a subhuman. Whereas still, if you are born as a Chinese male, you are, in my opinion, probably 10 times more difficult in living than living as a Chinese female. The reason is if you want to find a partner or a girlfriend as a Chinese man, uh, Chinese male are the least popular option among for the woman, uh, and while for Chinese female, they are the most popular option for men. So it's very likely, and you of course you will see that there are many single Chinese men in his 40s and 50s. They failed in finding a partner because no women in the world want Chinese men, and they were likely to die alone or even die a virgin. And in terms of other aspects of life, like if you want to succeed in a company, in a college, nobody really wants to give uh, a superior or managerial position to a Chinese male because, for one, they are feel as dangerous, and a Chinese men are affiliated with evil empire, so it's not we can't trust Chinese male um, and but you will see that many Chinese female hold managerial positions, and in Hollywood you will see that there are 100 times more Chinese female actors compared to Chinese male actors, um, because of the reasons that I mentioned about. So if you're a Chinese male and if you are born as a Chinese male and you don't have a particularly strong mind, you may probably have psychological breakdowns with all those obstacles in the world. Sometimes you may have lost your true identity, your true self when you are born with, and get changed to the way that other people want you to be. So in work, you may serve as a tool and uh, uh, work work hard, but you can't really get any fulfillment from your work. So it's pretty hard to live a life and pretty difficult to live a life as a Chinese male. So why do I say that it is actually good to be born as a Chinese male? You have to think about it in another perspective. So imagine that uh, before you are born, you have the choice to choose uh, the race and the gender that you are born with, and of course, you can't choose that. What you're born with your race and gender is pretty much predetermined. But let's say you can have the ability to choose that. Why would someone to choose to be born as a Chinese male? Um, I actually would choose that if I am given this ability. I would draw an analogy to the to game playing. So let's say you want to play a game, and at first you can choose the level of difficulties like easy, medium, and hard, and extremely hard, or hell mode, the highest possible difficulties. And sometimes people would want to choose the most difficult one because if you win the game or survive the game um, in the highest difficult, in the most difficult option, that is the most fulfilling and rewarding thing ever. Well, if you play the game in the easy mode and you win, you can't find that enjoyment. So if you, I would say that if you are born as an Asian male, particularly in these times, uh, it's quite equivalent to playing the game, the game of life, uh, in the hardest mode possible. And if you somehow achieve something or survive, just to survive in this life, it's actually can be deemed as a success, and that is pretty rewarding and pretty exciting. So let's say for me, I'm a 30-year-old age Chinese male. Sorry, previously I may have confused about Asian and Chinese, but I my title is about Chinese, so that is the most difficult one. So I'm a Chinese male, 30, in my 30, and I can't really find a girlfriend before. I felt that finding a girlfriend um, probably around 30 to 50 women reject me, um, and they don't want to be my girlfriend or let alone wife. So I have a pretty hard time living alone, and I don't really receive the love that other ordinary people can receive. But I'm okay with that because after all, it's scientific statistics that Chinese male um, is the least likely to find a partner in this planet Earth. So I accept it. But let's say if by some miracle or by by some very hard work, that means I have to be very active, and I earn a lot of money, or or by some miracle that I can find a girlfriend at the age of, let's say, 35. Um, that may be a bit late for people to find their first girlfriend at the age of 35, but for me, it's actually, I would say that if I if I do that, I would be very um, fulfilled, and I would see it as a success. So um, so being born as a Chinese male, and it's like playing the game of life the in a difficult mode, and you if you achieve something and unlock something that is hard to grab, uh, you are deemed as a successful person, and that is a pretty fulfilling thing to think about. And also, I would say that if you fast forward maybe 30 or 40 years later, and in the if you are 70 years old and 80 years old, and you're lying in a bed in the hospital as a Chinese male, and you look at back in your life, you may have a kid or have a wife, um, uh, and if and even you may have a house and something like that. And when Judgment Day comes, Judgment Day, I means in the days that you are going to die and you're judged by God of what you did in your life, right? So let's say that it comes and it's real. So God will look at you, look at what you did, and whether it doesn't uh, it doesn't really, it depends on what you did about is successful or not. But he will look at you what you did if it is right or not. If you as an Asian male, you already have a difficult times doing things successfully, and but if you do it the right way and you try your best and you respect others, and even if you contribute something positive to the world, no matter um, how um, how difficult the world is, or how cruel the world is, if you contribute something positive, and you are an ethical person, and you pray by the rule, God will knows that. God will know that, um, and He will reward you of what you will want in this life in heaven. So let's say you really uh, uh, did your best in let's say by contributing to the company, and you really want a particular position, but you can't get it because of your race and your gender. I mean, God will knows that, and He will reward you of what you want uh, in heaven. And let's say if you really um, wants to find a girlfriend in your life, but you can't succeed because of your uh, identity, God will grant you a girlfriend in heaven. So don't worry about that. But the message is that you already you have already chosen to play this game in the hardest mode. So why not just keep playing and just keep unlocking achievement, and but also play it in the right way and respect others, and don't cause harm to others. And even if you don't achieve as much as achievements as other people, uh, God will know that, and is also expected, because after all you are playing in the harder mode compared to others. So that is okay, and you don't have the psychological burden and the stress that uh, you have if you understand what I'm talking about. Um, so right now, um, we still have a lot of times forward. Like, even if the times that we are right now at as an age as a Chinese male is pretty difficult, but in the in 50 years later, it may something may change, and we don't know. It may be worse and it may be better. But um, don't uh, uh, but it doesn't matter because if it works, that's okay. We just keep going and living. And if you end up as a complete failure, and that is also as expected, because after all, it's very difficult to live as alive as a Chinese male. But if you um, get it done and can push it to the other end, and I would say that is the most um, enjoyable thing ever in the universe. So just keep going further, and I look forward to um, what will happen. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.